Hello and welcome everyone. I'm your host Pallavi and I welcome you all to our Zoho Finance Masterclass. Now, before we begin, as much as I love your active participation throughout the session, I deeply value the time that you are investing. In order to keep this session free of distraction, all microphones, save the one used by me, have been muted. That said, if you have any questions, you can just drop them in the chat box and my team members here will give you the answers. You can post any questions or comments that you may have using the chat interface within the GoToWebinar application, and our folks here will respond to you. From invoicing to order management to accounting, the Zoho Finance Suite has all bases covered when it comes to your back office operations. The Zoho Finance Suite constitutes Zoho Books, Zoho Invoice, Zoho Expense, Zoho Inventory, Zoho Subscriptions, and Zoho Checkout. Zoho Books is an online accounting software that automates receivables, payables, inventory tracking, banking, and financial reporting. It is used throughout multiple tax jurisdictions spanning across the US, UK, Australia, Canada, India, UAE, and Saudi Arabia. Over 30 million users worldwide trust Zoho for their daily activities, ranging from boosting sales, increasing productivity, to managing finances. For the masterclass, we have 13 topics in our course structure, starting from setting up your Zoho Books account to generating workflows for your business. If you want to check out the previous webinars, please mail us at support@zohobooks.com and we'll do the needful. In today's session, we'll be primarily looking at how to get VAT compliant with Zoho Books. Speaking of VAT, I think by now all of you here may already be familiar with VAT. But just to mention in two simple lines, what is VAT? Well, VAT is a tax that is levied on the value of goods and services sold by a taxable person. VAT is an indirect tax, but it's a little different from other indirect taxes like sales tax or service tax. Unlike taxes that apply to the whole value of a product or service, VAT is levied only upon the value added at the stage of sales or production. VAT applies to both goods and services. At this point of time, if you want to learn more about VAT and its basics, we already have a pre-recorded webinar on VAT basics, which you can download from www.zoho.com/sa/books/VAT/webinars. If you want to know the link again, please ping in the chat window. The agenda for the day is you will learn how to set up your VAT account in Zoho Books, creating VAT compliant invoices and other transactions, filing your VAT returns, and generating VAT return reports. The registration process may be mandatory or voluntary depending on the business revenues generated. To initiate the registration process, the business owner should submit an application form. An application should be filled by the business registering under VAT. The form contains the following details: the official name of the person, physical address, existing electronic identification number issued by the Gazette, commercial registration number, value of annual supplies or annual expenses, effective date of registration or alternative date as requested. The person applying for registration may be asked by the Gazette officials to provide documentation to validate the information furnished. The documents should be submitted within 20 days following the date of request. Once the application is accepted by the Gazette officials, the applicant will receive a certificate of registration. This certificate will contain the TIN, the tax identification number, and the date on which the registration takes effect. In the registration procedure, you can see, as mentioned in the website and in the VAT resources, you will be able to learn more about the registration process. Let's now see the settings in Zoho Books. So as you can see, your Zoho Books window is open here, and this is the dashboard view. By clicking on the settings, you can look at your organization profile and set it up. You can upload your logo from here. You can add the organization name, the portal, the business location. You can add your company address. If you would like to add a separate address for receiving payments, you can do that from here and add the address right from here. The fiscal year, you can set it from here. And the report basis, if you want to receive your reports on an accrual or cash basis, you can check that from here. Your company ID, the time zone, and the language can be mentioned from here. Once you hit save, this is going to take you to the taxes module. First up, this will ask you if you are registered for VAT or not. So if you are registered for VAT, by clicking on yes, you will be enable the VAT compliant module within Zoho Books. If you are registered for a VAT, click on yes. Enter your TRN or tax registration number right from here. If you are an importer or exporter or you transact within the GCC countries, then in that case you have to enable the international trade for your organization. Once you have updated this module, you cannot edit it anymore. You can select the reporting period once in the start itself. Now we'll see how the tax treatment is done for your contacts. So this is how your contacts module will look like. All your contacts are listed here. So the company name, the email, the work phone, and the receivables, payables, everything you can see from here. I try to create a new contact and I just clicked on plus. You can click on this plus as well. Choose your contact type. If it's a customer or vendor, select the salutation. Select the company name. The display name which you want to look at, if it's the name or the company name. The contact email you can add from here, the work phone or the mobile phone. His website address. The tax treatment is a mandatory field which you have to select. If he is a VAT registered customer or vendor, if he is a non-VAT registered, GCC VAT registered, GCC non-VAT registered, or non-GCC registered. So if depending upon your tax treatment, you have to add your TRN number and the place of supply will be selected by its own. So if he is a VAT register number, I'll enter a TRN number, it's a 15-digit number. The place of supply is, as you can see, selected already. Depending on the tax treatment, this will also change. The currency is already added, but if you want, you can also change the currency from here. Once you are done, you can add the address of this particular customer or vendor. You can associate contact persons with this particular customer. If you want some other field, you can also add it using the custom field option. And just hit save. So you can see here that the contact is created, the address and everything will be added right here. The other details that are added are the currency code, the portal status, the TRN number. So now we take a look at, we saw how tax treatment is done for contacts, and now how we'll see how it is done for items. So under the items tab, as you can see, we have items, we have price list, and we can do item adjustments. We'll create a new item. I'll click on the plus new button, or you can also click on this plus. You can add a new item as per your choice. It can be a good or service. I added a new good. You can also add a new service. You can add the unit for this particular good. If you want to update the sales information and purchase information, this is how you can do it. Or if you don't want to enter one information, like you don't want to enter the purchase information, just have to go and uncheck this option. Add the amount, add a description for this amount, associate an account with this good, select the tax rate, and then just hit save. If you wish, you can also track inventory for this item. At any point of time, if you want to know more about any particular module, just ping us in the chat and we'll let you know more. Price lists you can create from right here. You can click on new price list. Associate a price list with your customer or vendor. In this case, I have created a new price list called National Day Sale. So you can select if it will be applicable for your sales or purchases. You can mark up or mark down the item rates by a percentage, or if you want, you can add the item rates individually for every item. You can add the item rates here. You can mark it up or you can mark it down as per your choice. And that's it, you are done. You can edit the currency. When you're marking up or marking down the item rates by a percentage, you can add the percentage from here. I mark down the percentage of all my goods by 20%, and I wish to round it off to the nearest whole number. That's it. Item adjustments. By chance, if there is any damaged goods, or there's a stock on fire, or you want to make an inventory revaluation, you can do it from here. You can do a quantity adjustment or a value adjustment. You can change the value of a particular good or service. If you want to add the quantity, then you have to add the new quantity on hand. The available quantity will be already shown to you. Like the new quantity is 20. So you can see the quantity adjusted is automatically added. You can specify the reason. That's it. Creating VAT compliant invoices. An invoice is a document which records the details of taxable supply made. Only VAT registered businesses are authorized to issue tax invoices. The receipt of a valid tax invoice is the primary documentary evidence to support the purchaser's VAT recovery. Apart from invoices issued for supplies made, businesses owners must issue separate invoices for purchases made for vendors or suppliers. So as you can see, under your sales module, you have invoices, and a valid tax invoice must contain the following: a unique sequential number, a date of issue, the supplier's name, address, tax registration number, the customer's name, address, and tax registration number, description of goods or services supplied, total amount excluding VAT, the total VAT chargeable, price and quantity for each item, the rate of discount per item if you have given any discount, rate of VAT charged per item if an item is exempt or zero rated, then that should be mentioned, the total amount including VAT. Now you have seen how a tax invoice should look like. Now if I want to create a new invoice, all I have to do is just click on plus new, and you have to select your transaction preferences. If you give discounts on item level, at invoice level, or you don't give discounts at all. If you want to add shipping charges or adjustments, if you sell your items at tax rates like inclusive of tax or exclusive of tax or both, if you want to add a salesperson for this particular invoice, once you click save, you can create your new invoice. The customer name you can choose from here, or you can create a new customer. I choose Ali Corporation. You can see that the billing address is mentioned here, the shipping address is mentioned, and also the tax treatment has been added. And if there are any unpaid invoices with this customer, you can add it. You can change your customer. If he is a not configured customer, you can select your tax treatment from here. So I selected it as a VAT registered customer. My place of supply is auto-populated. The invoice date, the due on receipt, that can be changed. You can associate a salesperson. Now, as you can see, I'm adding an item and the description is mentioned here. And I'll also add a service. The tax rates are auto-populated, but if you wish, you can change it from right here. If you want to apply discount, you can do it. You can change the quantity as per your choice. You can see the total amount is mentioned over here. You can add customer notes and mention your terms and conditions. And all you have to do is save as draft or save and send. So I made this invoice and now I want to record payment for this particular invoice. I'm recording the payment. The amount received is mentioned here. If there were any bank charges, you can mention. And then click on record payment. So as you can see that the status has changed to paid. Now if I want to make it a recurring invoice, or I want to create it as a credit note or a debit note, or want to clone the particular invoice, then I can do that from here. I can print delivery note and print packing slip for this particular invoice. If there are any changes, I can go and edit it, take it as a PDF, print it, or email it to my customer. The status is updated here when the invoice was created, when it was marked as sent, and when the payment was received. Everything is mentioned here. If it is overdue, the status of the invoice also you can see. And you can just go here and record payment for your overdue invoices. Along with invoices, other sales transactions like estimates, retainer invoices, sales order, delivery challans, you can record payments again from here and recurring invoices can be generated. For your purchases you make, the expenses are an important part of your business transaction. You always have expenses like automobile expenses. Some expenses you make it for your customer and some expenses for your own office. So if I have an expense made for my customer, I can associate my customer over here, or if it is for a vendor, I can associate my vendor here. But first let me select an expense account. I have made some expense regarding internet expense, and the amount I'll mention it here. You can associate an account if you have paid through petty cash or through your advance amounts. The tax treatment has to be mentioned here, and the vendor name if it was associated with a vendor, or suppose you don't want to associate it with a vendor but you still want to continue with the recording of your expense, you can do that as well. Select the tax if it was exempt, if it was standard rate or zero rate. I'll associate it with a customer and let's see what happens. I click on save and the expense has been created. As you can see, you can drag and drop in bills or like files if you have. You can attach receipts. You can attach it from desktop, cloud, or documents. Along with expenses, I can create recurring expenses. So these expenses are like every month you have some kind of expense going on, like paying off your rent or paying in internet bills. Those are all recurring expense, and you can create a recurring expense. When you create purchase orders, I select a vendor. If he's not configured or configured, you can choose it from here. I associate him with an item. If he is applicable for reverse charge, you have to click over here, but in this case you have to choose the mode as shipment preference. You have to choose and then save and send. So your purchase order has been created. If you want to send an email, then you can do it from here, or if you don't want to send an email, just click on cancel. Bills are again another important part of your business. you have to create bills, and you select a vendor from here. You add your bill number, the bill date, and the due date of that bill can be selected from here. Payment terms, like if you want to pay it after 15 days, after 30, that you can select. If you want to customize that, you can do it right from here. If the transaction is applicable for reverse charge, you can mark it over here. The status of the bill will be shown here. It's an open bill, which is an unpaid bill, and the bill is yet due to be paid. So if I want to record payment for this particular bill, I click on record payment. And if a partial payment is made, that also you can record, or if the full payment is made, you can just mention it here and save it. So right now you will see that the status has changed to paid. If you want to make it recurring, or you want to create a bill of entry or create vendor credits, that you can do it from here. So you saw how the all the other transactions are added. Now for filing your VAT returns, if you want to take a look at how VAT returns are filed. So this is also the timesheet module. If you have created any projects or anything, you can see it. You can do a time tracking for that project and associate it with a customer or vendor. Let's now look at VAT reports. The VAT reports over here, you can generate it under the taxes report. Zoho Books has more than 40 plus reports, which you can use it for your business, like starting from business overview report, sales report, inventory. We also have a webinar on VAT reports or other reports. You can ping us in the chat window and you can let us know if you want to take a look at reporting module. So you click on your tax reports, and if it is unfiled, you just have to click on the unfiled button. And as you can see, the VAT on sales, the VAT on purchases, the net VAT due, everything is mentioned here. The standard rate or the domestic sales are marked. If you have any private or healthcare, those amounts are also added here. If you have to make any adjustments, that you can do it right there when you add your transactions. The VAT on purchases are added here. The net VAT due for the current period, that you can see it from here. Once you are ready with all your details, you just have to click on mark as filed. The date of filing will be mentioned here. So once you mark it, you cannot edit it anymore. That's it, and click on OK. So as soon as you click on OK, your tax return has been filed and you'll get a notification. You can also export your return as PDF. So this is all that was about VAT returns. Other than that, you can also create other reports. At any point of time, if you get stuck, you can also click on this question mark button. You have help and support, and also you have chat button. You can ping and ask us questions. Here is how the guides or the resources module looks like. You can read about VAT registrations, about reverse charge, VAT returns, place of supply, and other details like input credits. If you want to look at our previous webinars, just have to click on webinars and you can see more about basics of VAT for KSA. You can see a webinar on supply of goods and services for KSA, and also about VAT filing. So let's take a recap. We saw how to set up VAT for your account. Creating VAT compliant invoices was shown here, and as well as other transactions. So you also saw how to file your VAT returns and how to generate VAT return reports. In case you have any queries, please feel free to type them in or send them to us at support@zohobooks.com. Thank you for joining us today and have a great day ahead.